Hey guys, so now I'm going to go over how to replace the fog light and temperature sensor on a Mercedes C240. This is a 2004 C240 wagon, all-wheel drive, 4MATIC that is. Last fall I was on Route 90 in New York State, headed out towards Syracuse and hit a coyote at 70 miles an hour, and basically it took out the fog light, the outside temperature sensor, and also it knocked out the lower inner fender, which you can see there should be a panel right here, and that's completely missing. So I ordered the new one from the Mercedes dealer. So the first step here is actually just to jack up the car, which you can do under the front suspension. There's a cutout in the plastic underbelly panel, and then you can put your jack stand right where the support is built into the frame. There's a front and rear rubber support. That's, if you got a flat, but you can use that to put your jack stand. And I just leave the hydraulic floor jack in place, so it's just some extra safety. So you don't have all the weight just on the jack stand. And then of course before you jack up the car, you've got to loosen the lug nuts in that front wheel, and then you can remove the wheel and put it to the side. So this should be pretty straightforward because there's not many parts here to replace. Got this little trim piece that the fog light sits in, and replacement fog light, and the body panel, and this is the temperature sensor, and then there's some hardware. These screws and clips hold this plastic panel into place, and all this stuff came from my friends at Euro Parts. So the first step is going to be to get this broken. This is the surround for the fog light. You can see it's cracked on top. And don't really see that this is attached with any screws. It looks like it's just sort of press fit in between the valance and then this interior plastic piece here. So I'm gonna have to take a look at that and see how that comes apart. If you look at this piece from the front, right here there is a hole, and inside that hole there's a screw that holds, there's a plastic assembly behind here. Take out that screw, I think I can get enough play into that assembly to get out this trim piece. So we're going to try that. If not, there's another place where it attaches that I'll have to loosen. So there's a bunch of different attachment points here. Basically, you've got to get this panel loose enough at the bottom to pull out that fog light surround, because this panel actually goes up behind this beam. This is your front, this is a structural piece behind the front bumper, and it's that's not something that's easily taken out. So my goal was to get enough play in the bottom of this plastic piece to then get the fog light surround out between the front valance. So what you have to do is it's held in place by a couple plastic rivets here. You have to pop those rivets out, and you can actually do that with a drift tool like this. And the rivet, if you do it correctly, you can actually reuse those. But you can get those at Mercedes, and you can get them at any auto parts store. Additionally, there's a clip and a bolt that holds it here on this side. There's another clip and bolt that holds it there on that side. And there was a place here where it just sort of fits over a tab on the valance, and then there's a metal bracket here. That was the screw that actually came through the front, so we disconnected that, and that was enough room or play to pull this piece away from the front valance to get the old piece out. So now I'm going to see if I can get the new piece in there. Hopefully there's enough room, because there's not any other places on the bottom where this can be loosened. And to do any further, you'd actually have to remove the upper inner fender here. That's a lot more work. So, and you're going to run into that issue with that metal support. So I'm hoping you could actually see this piece was also damaged in the accident, this piece of metal. So I'm going to have to see if I can straighten that. So basically there's 4 plastic tabs that hold in this trim piece for the fog light. There's 2 on this side, the 2 bigger ones. You can see this one here at the bottom, that gray. That's part of the front valance. It fits through a slot, and once you push it through, it should stay. There's another one up here that you can't see, and then there's 2 smaller ones. There's one here and one there. These smaller ones, I'm thinking that they might have gotten damaged. Oh no, actually it wasn't snapped in. So basically those lock in, this one on the far right, and then this one on top. That holds this plastic piece in, and then the 2 large ones hold it in on the opposite side. It actually goes all the way over to here where the other hole is. That's where the access hole for the bolt, and then there's also a port here for the temperature unit once we get that connected. So that's it. That piece is in, at least that part of it. Now I can reattach the places where I loosened the bracket. So I'm thinking before putting in the fog light, which is going to basically sit right here, it's probably better to install the external temperature sensor first, because otherwise the fog light is going to obstruct that area and it's going to be harder to put that temperature sensor in.